So many of us don't consider ourselves photogenic, and we'd like to look as beautiful in pictures as we do in real life. So is there a secret to getting that model glow in a photo?
Well, who better to ask than a model herself? Shelley Goldstein was recently featured in More magazine. You might have seen her grace the pages of the national publication, and she's here to give you a few pointers on how to shine with all of your beauty at any age. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Shelley.
Absolutely, glad to be here.
And you are a professional model, and you always hear those stories of, I was discovered or something like that. How did you get started in modeling?
Well, I started really late in modeling. I was actually 29 years old and started taking some pictures with some local photographers, and I, modeled on and off. But between life and babies and careers, it just never became a full-time sort of position for me. But I've always enjoyed it. I've always learned about it, and have had some great experiences.
And I like how you say you started late in modeling and yet you are only 29. But I have to ask, what is your secret to aging?
Oh, well, is there a secret to aging? We're all looking for that little pill, right?
That fountain of youth.
It's true, but I think for me, they say that your skin, it's written on your face, right? Your genetics, if you've been crying, you have puffy eyes. If you're not sleeping, you have dark circles. But for me, my biggest anti-aging secret, I guess, would be to use sunscreen. I've done that since I've been in my 20s, and it's served me really well.
It's so basic too, right? It's not a big secret at all.
It's not such a big secret. And the other thing is really important to exfoliate your face and get those dead skin cells off and keep regenerating your skin.
You know, that's something that I tried to do, but I never really know how much you're supposed to do it, because you shouldn't do it too much, right? How often do you exfoliate?
Well, you don't want to be bleeding.
Sandpaper.
No, but I think that, gentle exfoliation every day. There's some really great new products out by Clarisonic makes one, and Olay, and they're like little machines that you hold on and they scrub your skin. And they really do a nice job of getting off your makeup and taking off that, that layer of skin, so that if you are using any products, they can penetrate a lot better.
Okay, and affordable too. That's good to hear you say something about things that we can all use. You also have a book, Face This. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yes, I wrote a book because so many of my friends were always asking me, how do you take a good picture? And a lot of my friends also have young girls that want to get into the modeling business. So I wrote this book, and it's for the ordinary girl, how to look great in a photograph. And it doesn't matter what your age is, you always want a beautiful photograph. If you're a college girl, or you're getting ready for your wedding, or you're been divorced and you're going to be on an online dating service, you always want a beautiful picture. So there are tricks and secrets and tips that that are important to know, that you can use every day.
Is there anything that you can fill us in on? Any tricks of the trade?
Oh, there's so many. I have 200 pages. But there are so many tricks, and just to, I think it's important that you understand a little bit about photography and your camera, as well as some of the modeling tricks. And you have to be responsible for getting that picture right yourself, because you could be asking a guy off the street to take your snapshot when you're with a group of friends, and you do know, like, when the lens is pointed at you, like, have you ever been there when someone's taking your picture and you kind of think you're not really in it, so you lean in, and so you just have to be aware of where the lens is, and remember that whatever's closest to the lens is going to be biggest. So if that's you, personally, I don't want to be the biggest on any photo. I don't want any body part to be the biggest. So, like if you're in a group and you're on the end and the photographer happens to be closer to your end, maybe just kind of cheat yourself back a little bit. Maybe get behind your girlfriend. Maybe do like a 3/4 pose.
Yes, I've heard that before. I always do that.
Yeah, and any time that you do angles, like if you can angle your hips one way and your shoulders another, that always makes your waist look a lot diminishes your waist, so you look thinner there.
Good to know.
And then there's that, I call it the girl arm.
Oh my gosh,
I do
the sorority
my
pose.
sisters, my girlfriends, they always have this going on. So it's another little sort of like angle trick.
Makes your arm look thinner.
Do you believe in being photogenic, or do you think it's folks who sort of know the tricks of the trade?
Well, definitely, people are photogenic, and we were just talking about this before the show. Most people will say, I don't take good pictures, and you were saying that, which I'm sure blows everyone away, right?
Crazy, and you come out so well in all the pictures we take with the viewers after the show.
Terrible.
But I think what happens is, and you're obviously very telegenic, so that's why none of us would believe that. But you know, what happens is we think that and we believe that, and so that's what comes across. And
that's interesting. So the way that you feel will come across in the photo. If you feel unattractive or whatever, it will come across.
It does. You have to start from the inside out. And you know, when you watch like those top model shows and you see the girls that are on there, and the most beautiful girl, you're like, oh, she's gonna win. But then you see her trying to take a picture with a photographer, and she has nothing. She brings no energy. She brings no life to the photo. And you're just kind of like, and it's those girls that you're like, where did she come from? And they're the winners, you know, because
that's what I love about what you say, though, is that you basically say that beauty is confidence, right? What comes in ends up out, and I think that's just so coming from someone who is so gorgeous.
Oh, well, thank you, thank you.
And you have rules, or what do you think of the rules for women of a certain age? You know, not allowed to wear short skirts, shouldn't let their hair go gray. What do you think about those?
Well, isn't that funny? There are rules for everything.
Yes.
And, you know, a lot of those rules I don't kind of believe in. I mean, first of all, short skirts. Well, legs are the last to go. Why would you ever not wear a short skirt? And, you know, the other rule, like no strapless dresses after a certain age or no sleeveless. And the truth is, women are working out like crazy now. They're in the best shape of their lives. So those rules do not apply. As far as hair color, I think that it's just good to choose a definite color. Like if you're going to be gray, then be a silver fox, you know. But choose a color, whether it be blonde or brunette or red, and add some highlights and some depth, because if you just have one color, you look like you have a helmet on your head, and no matter what your age, that's not attractive. So, so I just think you have to really, you know, trust your gut. Like if you're asking and you're getting ready and you're asking somebody, well, does this make me look fat, or is this, what do you think of, like you kind of know in your gut what the answer is if you're asking the question. And and more than age appropriate, just be appropriate to the occasion you're going to, you know. So
absolutely. Let's talk about More Magazine, by the way. Something really interesting happened. You were, of course, featured in October's issue of More Magazine, and you were chosen by the editors of CoverGirl out of thousands of women over 40 as the grand prize winner. Tell us about that. How did that sort of happen? Give us a little more background on it.
Well, that was really fun. So More Magazine did their first beauty search last year, and you entered by sending in a photo and a little 150 story about yourself, 150-word story about yourself. And I was actually researching for my book and ran across this contest, and I thought, wow, you know, this would be a really great thing to do. And the prize money was $10,000.
Bonus.
Yeah. So I entered, and there were, you know, almost 2,500 women, and they chose me. And you know, it's funny because my friends and I talk about how we don't really know anyone that's actually won one of those contests.
Never.
Yeah.
And so it happens. And then when I won the money, I was able to self-publish my book. So it was kind of like a full circle. So really fun.
And I have to ask too, any makeup advice?
Oh, there's lots of makeup advice.
Yes.
And you know, the best thing to do is to sort of update your look and go in and get some real counter makeup advice, because there's so many new products out there. But the best product that I can tell everyone to use is a primer. And you know, they've been around for a while. And the first ones were really greasy, so people haven't really gone back to them if you've had a bad experience. But they make age-defying, mattifying, moisturizing, all sorts of different primers. And they're like a silicone that sits on your face before you put makeup on. And I mean, they can take 10 years, they can shave it right off your face. So that's a really great product to use.
Just discovered them this
Did
past
you really?
year. I love them.
Yes,
I
encourage
They ask
everyone.
us to use them. I actually haven't started putting it on myself.
Really?
Do you wear them now?
Oh, all the time. You should.
Yeah,
you
and
can
I
wear it
use
without makeup.
Yes,
too.
they're illuminizing. They make your skin feel good, and I use it on my hands too, because as we age, we do show that in our hands. So that's another place you can use it. Not every day, but if you have a special event or photo or something.
Sure. Thank you so much for coming on. Great advice.
It's my pleasure.
The ladies loved it.
And if you'd like to catch more secrets from Shelly, just go to her website, facethis.blogspot.com.